What we doing the reading on again?
The current state of the government.
Using the I Ching to read the current state of the government. All right.
Okay. Oh shit, okay. Gotcha. This interesting. So boom. I'm gonna read out this book right here, man. It's that book, this might be the hardest one. This might be the hardest one on the planet right now, boy.
Shake 'em.
Yeah. You get, man. Anyway, so 59. Uh-oh. All right, so I asked the question, what's the current state of the government right now, U.S. government, which, you know, and I got 2 hexagrams. The first one is 59, and the other one is 12. So 59, once you get your readings right, it's the back of the book, and they got a chart. Once you throw your penny 6 times, you're gonna get these combinations, just like a math table. You put them together. So when you go to the 59, oh yeah, you got the book, the 59 hexagram.
So it's right here. It's in the back of this one right here.
Yeah, there you go. 59. So 59 is actually the top. You see what it says? The upper.
Yeah, that's wind.
Yeah, the upper tribe. Yeah, there you go.
Wind and water.
So 59. Oh. Son, yeah. There you go. Yeah, my man, 59. So go to 59.
So you go to page 59, or you go to
59 hexagram.
Oh, 59 extragram. Okay, so
hexagram, yeah. So you go to 59. See, there's different translations, but raw. I'm gonna hit it from raw one.
Yeah.
So 59 in raw book is Han, Huan.
Yeah.
Dispersion.
Dispersing. Yeah.
Yeah. Dissolution. And son over Khan. Says the judgment that when you're talking about above and then below, you're talking about, you know what I'm saying, what's in the leading position and then what's in the following position. So the 59 hexagram is composed of sun, teachings, communications, etc. above, and Khan, lack of experience and know-how below. The hexagram provides instructions on how to transcend egotism, symbolized by Khan. It is caused primarily by the polarization of consciousness to the two lower divisions of the spirit, the animal, emotional spirit, and the mental, the human spirit. And you know what? That's why when I said I had the Holy Ghost, what I wanted to talk to, you know what I wanted to talk about tonight was the animal spirit. And that's what come out in this read. Ain't that some shit? So the polarization of consciousness into the animal spirit. This the government now. This was supposed to be leading. These niggas in the animals right now. So it said, damn. So the animal spirit and the mental human spirit, coupled with the dormancy of the higher part of the spirit, the divine, Asar, he's dead. The hexagram does not provide a blueprint for lifting the self out of the lower. It provides instructions that will assist in weakening the hold that the lower parts of being have on the self. It recommends the use of power of spiritual rituals to generate a strong tide of emotion for God and our fellows. Another prescription is the involvement of people in non-profit cooperative ventures that are aimed at the general welfare. In this manner, love, one of the highest emotions of the spirit, is cultivated as a means of overcoming selfishness. So basically, what that shit is saying, man, that's just the first part. What it's saying, though, is saying, okay, you got people supposed to be making decisions and making moves and all that type of shit based upon, you know what I'm saying, they higher spirit, based upon their intellect, based upon, you know, truth, based upon not their emotions and feelings. Right now, you got motherfuckers like niggas. I see them niggas try to chase Trump out of building. That nigga had to hop some fences and shit to get to one of his rallies. You know, it's like it's a bunch of everybody on some other shit. Everybody divided. Everybody on some other shit. So what it was saying is, in order to break that, you got to get people into the spirit of cooperating and shit like that. Like they have to unify the country under one fucking, like, you got. That's why Ronald Reagan created the fucking the Star Wars shit. You know what I'm saying? To defend against fucking Russia and all that. You understand? He had the whole country mobilized against one fucking enemy. You know what I mean? So you have to do that. That's how you get rid. That's how you monitor that, handle that energy. But then it goes into this. It says the Harlem River. This raw shit. The Harlem River complementary is hexagram 59 and 55 are complementary. The 55th hexagram corresponds to the attributes that contribute to the accumulation of wealth. Observing its counsel will strengthen one's reason and resolve to transcend selfishness, which is greatly kept in place by one desires to keep for oneself the best things in life. Damn. And the line we got is line 3. It says the more work in the world calls on you, the more your work in the world calls on you to renounce your personal interests, the greater your power of achievement will be. If you respond to the call with peace, joy, and love for God and your fellows. Damn. So basically what the I Ching is saying, motherfuckers in the government right now on some real selfish shit. For real. If they renounce their personal interests and make this shit about the people, you know what I'm saying? Shit can be great again. That's what the I Ching is saying. If people in power quit being selfish on this bullshit, you can make the country powerful again. You can make this motherfucker great. But then it goes into the 12th hexagram, which is stagnation.
But hold on. Because I'm thinking, like, see, even though the question you asked is one about the country, the country is a compilation or you know, an accumulation of all the different personalities and people.
Right.
A lot of times in your spirit, when you ask questions, you're asking the question from you know, from and for yourself. You know, even because you can't ask it for anybody else. So the people you're talking about being great again is not the country, it's us.
True.
You understand? Because otherwise you'd be doing a reading for Donald Trump, right?
Yeah, true.
No, but America has always been great, but great on because of the things that it's done to us in general, who were also great at one time. And so America is not in a state where it's not great anymore, where it needs to be great again. You know what I'm saying? It's just going through transition. The people who are on the fringe of being great, or who have the who are at the floor to get to the height of greatness is us.
Yeah, it's like you diagnosing the patient. That's the patient. We the cells. You know what I'm saying? You talking about the body. We the cells, and the cells need to be operating as above, so below. But that brings me into the 12th hexagram. And I'm glad you mentioned that. This is how to let you know how the I Ching work and that you on point. The 12th hexagram is stagnation. And stagnation is chin of a kun. It says, man comes into the world with the animal spirit and brain in control of his or her life. The only effective means of transcending the evils of the lower part of being in control of our lives is by taking in the trance or meditations, the ritual, the 11 laws of the spirit as guide to our wills. And what that is, talking about that breakdown, that what you was listening to the other day when I was breaking down that them 11 deities, you know what I'm saying? What that was a blueprint of thinking. You can take every possible situation and put it into that tree and think your way down that tree like I explained it, and use all them different faculties in your mind, and bam, to transcend your behavior. That way of thinking is elevated thinking. That's not the animal spirit in control. That's your divine. That's your Holy Ghost rocking for you right there. That's you using your divine mind, because that's how God thinks. Now you using your divine, your divine spirit, your God spirit that has been resurrected in you by you practicing this shit in your meditations. Basically, you taking a situation and you putting it into your head, you working that shit out in your mind, you meditating, and you seeing yourself reacting in the proper way. So you modifying your behavior. You know what I'm saying? So this right here, the I Ching is saying, everybody coming to the world with that part of them asleep. If you don't know that breakdown of that tree on how to put your thoughts and everything in that particular order, you're going to have problems in life. From the rooter to the tutor, as man, everybody. It don't matter, because a politician ain't nothing but one of us who's been elected to office. You understand what I'm saying? So if that person don't know how to use their divine spirit, that's asleep in them too, then you know we subject to all these different type of things we're going through right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem on the spiritual levels of sickness. The country or the people in the country ain't been developed yet, and these are people we electing as. We got undeveloped people in office, just like we have to, and that starts here. So if we learn how to think like that, we develop ourselves, become the right type of individuals, and we're in positions of power, then shit can change. You know what I'm saying? Then it says, by extension, the hexagram represents the social disharmony that is caused by the absence of spirituality, as explained in the 11th hexagram and in the paragraph above. And the government, oh shit, hold on. This just says government. Hold on, baby. Hold on. By extension, I told you, Rob, boy, by extension, the hexagram represents the social disharmony. The social disharmony that is caused by the absence of spirituality, as explained in the 11th hexagram and in the paragraph above. And the government by people devoid of spiritual wisdom, as explained in this work. Unfortunately, most religions have failed, as history attests, to meet the requirements for providing the guidance to the leadership of the various social groups in the world, family, business, social nations, international, regulatory, all that shit. So I told you, religion was supposed to be behavior modification. This is how the fuck you think, because we cannot have people who don't think like this in fucking power. You have the whole world in fucking chaos. That was in ancient Kemet, nigga. You had to go through the mystery school. You know, you had to go through that shit before you became pharaoh. You can't just sit on the throne. You had to go like 40 years, and and the pharaoh always had it. Whoever the king, pharaoh, whoever you want to call it, always had his right-hand man with him, always was the priest or the oracle. You know what I'm saying? Diviners and shit like that. And then he had his advisors. You understand what I'm saying? Because he was making decisions. So he was like an emperor, like an emperor in China. They call an emperor in China. He's the representation of heaven on earth. You know what I'm saying? So his will is supposed to be what heaven wants. In order for that to be the case, they would go to things like, they divine and find out what God wants them to do in the situation. That's living on a whole nother level. That's not in present right now. And that's what's going on. Then it says, in health, this ain't talking about health, the attainment of the balance and the success that emanates from it can only be realized when the highest spiritual values occupy the ruling position of the spirit of man, and such people occupy the ruling positions in the organization or in the state. But here, in this situation, inferior elements and people occupy the seats of government and the spirit of the individual as well as the state. Damn. Almost like people being possessed right now. It's like they live. Niggas being possessed by fucking low spirits. Like it's crazy, man. The minds of the people running shit is fucked up, basically. And the minds of the people themselves is not right either. You know what I mean? This shit is upside down right now. Stagnation. For real. This is coming from the, come on, man.
No,
It's crazy.
I mean, uh, the fact that you were able to pull that up and go in to such detail, you know, on the question that you asked about, and then it gave you such a clear answer. You know, of course, there's some interpolation there. You're gonna have to interpret, you know, and put your own feelings on things to see, you know, how much of the information you got out. But you know, that's because it's not you know, it's not as exact as you know, because your question is not really clear either. You know what I mean? Question is still kind of wide open.
Right.
So it gave you you know, close enough you know, answer to whatever your question was, or whatever your sentiment in the question was.
Yeah,
And,
it gives a. I look at it like this, man. It gives a. It puts it into a context. It gives you a mold to pull your question, because every situation different. You know what I'm saying? For instance, if it's saying stagnation, and you're looking at what stagnation mean, you know, stagnation mean when shit ain't flowing right, something ain't right, you know. So now you in the state of, okay, something ain't right, and then you put in the context with the question that you asked. The question I asked was, what's going on with the government right now? You know what I'm saying? And it says, yo, something ain't right. This shit ain't moving right. Ain't never really been moving right. You know what I'm saying? This is why it ain't been moving right. The shit you fighting against ain't nothing physical. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing physical. It's nothing physical. It's a mental thing. It's a mind. It's a thought thing, man. It's like a spirit, man. You can't touch it physically. What you're fighting is nothing. It's nothing physically. It's a way of thinking that's occupying the minds of people right now because of the absence of what we're supposed to do. Like, I remember Killer Priest from the Wu, man. He had a song, man, real ill, man. Listen to it. He called it the Bible. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. You know what I'm saying? Basic instructions before leaving Earth. He called it Bible. It's one of the illest songs I ever heard, man. And he was just breaking down what it was, and what it was. It's just a guide to behave yourself, man. This is the instructions on this. Read these stories up. You know what I'm saying? Look at the situations. We're going to come up with every possible situation, even crazy situations, and just look at the way the person behaved himself in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, you look at the story of Noah in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So, no, not Noah, my bad, Moses. You know the part when Moses was running from the Pharaoh or whatever, and then he got to the water, he got to the Red Sea, and he was stuck, man. He had the Red Sea in front of him, and then he had the Pharaoh chase him down from behind, trying to kill him. He ain't had nowhere to go, man. Ain't no possible hope. Ain't nothing possible in the world of possibilities he could fucking do in that situation. He needed something that was greater than himself, and he needed a miracle, man. He was like, yo, if this God shit real, this shit gonna have to happen now, right? So, only thing he had right at that situation, was his faith. So he goes in, you know, the story is he walks into the water, you know what I'm saying? Red Sea part, you know, he like knee deep, and the water ain't moved yet. Pharaoh getting closer. He like, damn, hold on now. We going a little deeper. So now he like waist deep. He like, yo, Red Sea, go ahead and move, do your thing. Now it still ain't happening, right? Pharaoh getting closer. He like, damn. So now he's up to his neck. Yo, move now. Now the still won't happen. The Pharaoh right there. Now he's going. Now the water's up to right here. He's finna suffocate and drown. It was at that moment he was about to suffocate and drown that the water parted. And we in them situations all the time, man. You got to hold out. Like, yo, hold out. Don't do nothing stupid. Chill. Hold out. Do not blow up yet. Chill. Hold out. Hold out. Oh, that shit be like, ah. You know what I'm saying? But it just tell you how to be. Listen, if you know for a fact it's something greater than you. You ain't never starved on this planet. You've been through some shit already in your life to be here right now. You seen miracles already. You seen it. You don't live through some shit. You still here, and you in a situation like that, and you know it's got to be something greater than you. You can't handle this shit on your own. Why you gonna give in, man? Listen, man. It's gonna be tough. The water gonna have to get right here when you really, really need that shit, because it can't. The universe ain't here to make you weak, man. It's to test you. It's like that weight, man. It's like, how much can you bench spiritually, nigga? Can you lift that shit? Can you you know what I'm saying? You gonna bitch out that shit, you know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? How strong are you spiritually? This shit is real. So that's what that story was. It was a story in the Bible. Pay attention to the behavior. Not so much a story. The story was just to bring out a behavior. That's the only way you're gonna bring out shit. You got to create a situation. You're a writer. You're a God when you're writing some shit. You know your characters, the type of character that you got, and to bring out how people gonna know your man grimy unless you write a situation. You create a situation that's gonna bring out that grimy shit in him. You know what I'm saying? To the point that if he changes, like if every time he do that grimy shit and he gets fucked up, and maybe he'll realize, like, damn, let me hold out and switch it up, and then the story changes at the end. I mean, that's life, man. That's the great drama in life, man. So these stories in the Bible was letting you know on earth you're gonna go through some situations your damn self. You're gonna have some biblical shit happen to you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be witnessing some biblical shit. You know what I'm saying? In your everyday life. Refer to some of them stories on how the G's or how the prophets, you know what I'm saying? Look at Job, man. Come on, you serious? Imagine, man, God has come through, take your crib, your whip, your money, your women, your hair, all that shit from you, man. And you know he doing it to you. You know he doing it to you. Man, come on, man. You be like, man, fuck that nigga, man. Hell nah. You know what I'm saying? Fuck God. I ain't fucking with him no more. You know what I'm saying? But Joe was like, nah, I know, man, nah, I know some better shit. I know, nigga, I know. He hold on to his faith, man, because he knew that that's not how you ain't come here to really fucking suffer. Like, you come here to see how strong he was being tested, to see how much he can bench. Joe was a strong ass dude, man. Come on, man. All that shit happened to him, and Joe was like on some Hercules shit. Joe was like, oh, you ain't freaking gonna take me out with this bullshit. You gotta be like that sometime. You're not gonna take me out with this bullshit. I'm not going out like that. I ain't going out like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, and because that's what you come here for, man. You come to develop. It's like a gym, man. It's Planet Fitness. This Planet Fitness out here, man. You come here in the spiritual world to get your weight up, to get yourself spiritually strong, because it's other shit other than what you're seeing right now. But you come here to refine your character, refine your spirit for whatever greater than, whatever after this, man. It gotta be some other shit. You know what I'm saying? It gotta be. It's gotta be somewhere where you come and get your shit right. Gotta be. That's what the Bible was. You know what I'm saying? So E. Chang was saying, look, since they took that real shit out of the religion and never told people what you're supposed to do while you here, now you got a bunch of weak spiritually weak people in positions of power. You got to be strong spiritually to handle, to handle this shit and not get greedy, because you're looking at the rest of the population. You're looking at these people like, yo, ain't no saving them. Like, ain't no safe, because you're looking at the way they behave and you like, yo, ain't no saving them. Man, they got you heard of this shit, but you read this shit one time. It's called the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. You remember that? They're talking about the Goyim, and it was in that book, The Pale Horse. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Hey, you know what I'm also remembering too? Mute your mic.
Okay, hold on.
What I'm also remembering too is and it's funny how we're talking about this, man, and everything that you're saying right now. I'm sure somebody who's watching this broadcast is going to find something to relate to, you know, the experience of whatever they're going through right now. Because a lot of people have doubts about, like, you know what I mean, what they're doing and why is it not working, what's taking so long. You know, a lot of people are also affected by the disease that infects pretty much everybody on this planet in some form or another. And I mean, most of us, if not all of us, have a little touch of procrastination in us. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, I was watching this talk today, man. All this shit just coming together right now. And the brother the dude was talking about how with procrastination, a lot of times what causes people to trigger into action is a deadline. When you have a deadline, because you fear embarrassment, you fear, you know what I mean, you fear that, you know, whatever you're doing is gonna make you look bad, or not doing is gonna make you look bad, because you done had like months to prepare and do everything you needed to do to you know, get the shit done, but you didn't do it. And so now you find yourself at the 11th hour, right, trying to do something that you know you had like weeks or months or years to do. And that panic, that deadline, because it triggers you into doing some impossible shit. Day one, when you had the project to do, you no ideas came to you. You had no sense of urgency to do anything. You told yourself you do it the next day. The next day turned into a week. That week turned into a month. That month turned into 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Before you know it, you know what I mean, you done forgot about it. But that, you know, the other part of it is this. A lot of us procrastinate on things that, even worse, when we don't have no deadlines. When you don't have nothing to trigger you, you just sit on your ass and, you know what I mean, you trying to do your own business, or you trying to, you know, you're trying to start something where you have to be your own engine. A lot of people can't snap themselves into gear to get going because, you know, oh, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna work out the, you know, next week. I'm gonna start making those phone calls, you know, to people to see if I'm gonna start sending out those emails. I'm gonna do those posts next week. You know what I mean? I'll make that T-shirt. I'm gonna write this script. You know, I'm gonna shoot that movie, you know, this summer, and this summer turns into this winter, and this winter turns into the spring, and the spring turns into another summer, and another year, and another year, and it goes on and on and on and on. And because you don't have nobody clicking at your heels, you know, cracking the whip on you, you don't move. But it's not because you don't have ability. You know what I mean? It's not because you don't have ability, you can't do it, or it's too great of a task for you. It's because you have a habit that has now taken over a major function, you know, a major function in your life, the function that allows you to be productive. You see what I'm saying? So what you're talking about right now, man, is right and exact, because a lot of people come to that sea where they, you know, they're being pursued by so many things, all these bills piling up on them, you know, all these expectations, all these pressures from, you know, from different places. It's like an army coming down on you, and you feel like you're going to break. You're not sleeping right. You're not eating right. You know what I'm saying? You can't think. You can't function. I mean, it's just crazy. So it just keeps on stacking up and stacking up and stacking up and stacking up on you, and you feel like you're about to snap in two. And because you know what I mean, you have that little mustard grid seed of faith or persistence in you, and you know, no matter what you're going through, you're hungry there, you're hungry there, and you might be doing everything right. You might not be somebody that got your hands tied up behind your back or sitting on your hands. You might be the dude that's out here every day grinding and pushing yourself and doing everything that, you know, they tell you you're supposed to do, and it's still not working out. It's still not working out. You got your woman telling you, go get a job. You know what I'm saying? You got your woman telling you, go get a job. You know, she's like, yo, your dream is over, man. You know, you got to fucking wake up and understand we got real bills. You want to be a writer? You want to be a filmmaker? You want to be an artist? Nigga, that dream is dead. Go punch the clock. We need to pay these bills. You understand what I'm saying? This is real talk. So, you know, but you have to fight for what you believe in. You have to have faith in yourself. Faith that, you know what I mean, like everything that you sacrifice, everything that you envision happening is going to happen. And you have to try to find the adjustments that you need to make in your life, you know? Because sometimes it's just the little things. You know, sometimes we're doing things, you know, and that's in the right perfunctory way, but we're not putting our spirit in it. We're not making it you know, a reflection of us. We're just following a formula or a format. And so it's deep, brother. And I'm sorry I took up so much time, but you know, go, you know, jump back in, man, and you know, keep it going, brother.
You good, man. That's absolutely right, man. That's for real. I want to get up the head. I get up the head, man. And but
Hey, 1 second. Pull your camera down since you're sitting back, so that way you're more, yeah, you're more back. There you go.
okay, yeah, man. But yeah, that's what them stories before, man. They just metaphors and, you know, real life guys to help you through life situations, man, because it's about that's what spirituality is, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's what was that the religions was supposed to be about that. And so in places like ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, that's what the religion was about. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, it would be like that's like coming to church and saying, today, you know, people, this week we're gonna learn about self-control. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna learn about we're gonna practice not being selfish this week. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna put ourselves in situations where we don't want to share or we gotta sacrifice for somebody, and we're gonna do that for 21 days straight just to modify that behavior. Then the next week you go, the next moon cycle, the next whatever, you go into another part of, you know what I'm saying, your spirit that you're trying to work on till you go through a whole year. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the year, you would, it's like your finals, your exams will be around the winter solstice. You know what I'm saying? During the winter solstice, you would, you know, that's when you would go through what they call the 42 negative confessions or the judgment scene. You know what I'm saying? Where you judged, and it was just basically saying, you know, I have not done this, I have not done that. So they would have a list of all their weaknesses that they're trying to transcend. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they have 42 vices, or they would have more, whatever. So you would go through that, I have not done this, boom, boom, boom. And if you can go through that whole 42 and you pass that, then you can declare yourself sin free. You know what I'm saying? You basically, you God on earth, you sin free, because it's proof. Because only God can be, or God's son or whatever can be sin free. You know what I'm saying? And that was the whole thing. It wasn't just one man, you know, because in Christianity it was only Jesus. He's the only one who was sin free, and he died for your sins. So the whole mistake was they gave people a cop out. You know what I'm saying? They gave him the punk way out. He died for your sins. Therefore, you ain't got to work on your shit. He done died. You know what I'm saying? Just ask for forgiveness. You ain't got to work on your emotions and shit. You know what I'm saying? Get control of yourself. Don't work on that. We done did it for you. Everything has been done. And see, nah. And the way when we had it, our shit, nah. You was trying to be like you trying to be Jesus yourself. You like, nah, I ain't gonna let him outdo me. You know what I'm saying? So you would try to go through your 42, because you know those your weaknesses, your vices or whatever. And at the end of that cycle, you done modified your behavior, man, and you got, you know what I'm saying? So that was the quality of the character of the people running shit. You know, and so that was the religion of the people. That whole system was a behavior modification system. It's the way of thinking of that civilization. That's why they was able to last so long, 52,000 years. That's why they was able to build pyramids and shit. That's why we can't do that shit today, because we don't think like them. We haven't cultivated our thinking. We can do great things if we go back to that way of thinking, where you working every day on transcending your shit. Matter of fact, to bring this all in the full circle, man, it ain't that religion, you know what I'm saying? The ancient Egyptian religion is what they would call some of the foundations of what they would call Freemasonry. You know what I'm saying? You got cats like Napoleon when he went to conquer Egypt and shit like that. They went and they dug up all our secrets and stuff, man. Their way of thinking, their enlightenment, whatever you want to call that shit, Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, it's the enlightenment of that information on how to modify your behavior, how to think like a god. You know what I'm saying? It's a book came out in the 1920s that take that whole point home. I think I mentioned it before, but it's everybody heard it. Anybody in this self-improvement game done heard of Think and Grow Rich, done heard of Napoleon Hill, done, or at least, you know, heard some of the people that, you know, he's put on, like Anthony Robbins or whatever. But Napoleon Hill, for those who don't know, and I challenge you to research and get on if you don't know, but he wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. Now his story was crazy. Now Napoleon Hill was he was a white guy, you know what I'm saying? Back in the early 1900s, you know, he was wild. You know, he's running around robbing people, living in West Virginia, living like an outlaw, white trash. You know what I'm saying? Out there in the mountains. And his pops had married this woman. She was from a you know, an upper class family, and so she kind of like married down. You know what I'm saying? But she told him when he was young, "Look, man, you ain't got to be out here doing this, man. You need to change the way you think. You know what I mean? You need to do something else." So he was like, "Okay," and he wanted to be a writer. And so he went to Georgetown University and worked for this magazine. And one of his first assignments was to interview, at the time, the richest man in the world. Richest man in the world at the time was a cat named Andrew Carnegie. You know what I'm saying? That's where you get the Carnegie Hall, the Carnegie Libraries. You know what I'm saying? He produced steel. You know what I'm saying? At the time, we was in the Industrial Revolution. Cities like New York was going up. Cities like Chicago was going up. Detroit, all these cities, man. London, all around the world, these big skyscrapers and buildings were being made where you need steel to make that happen. So his thing was, let me sell him the steel. So he put some shit together and became a steel tycoon and richest man in the world. So he was old at the time. Then Napoleon got the interview, so he was on his way out. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to leave a legacy for himself. What people gonna remember him by? And so he told Napoleon, "Here, I got a job for you, man. I'm gonna write you a letter of introduction to the top people in every industry in this country doing something. Tell them I sent you, and I want you to ask them how they make their money. And then I'm gonna tell you, and then, you know, I want you to put all that together, because I want people to understand how somebody like me come over here from Ireland with a potato in my pocket and became the richest man in the world. I want people to understand that before I leave. I want that to be a legacy, and I want you to do that." And so Napoleon Hill, he went and he interviewed these people. Now, these people were people like Henry Ford at the time, J.P. Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, all these so-called, these cats people would call Illuminati today. You know what I'm saying? These people that was running stuff and everything. And he interviewed them, man. That, you know, they was doing their thing. And so it took him 20 years, man. After 20 years, man, he wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. And it had the secret on how these cats made their money. And in the book, he said that they was using this technique. And what people don't understand is how the mind works. And he was like, because people don't know how the mind works and how the spirit works. And it's two parts of you. It's a conscious mind and an unconscious mind. And what these people have done was they used something called, he called it auto-suggestion, where these people will go in every day. First of all, they wake up every day. They had a goal in mind. They knew what they was going to do. They weren't floating like most of us do. They have a definite, they call it the definite chief aim. They goal, they purpose, they destiny, what the hell they come here to do. They know what they gonna do. Like Henry Ford, like shit, I'm tired working on this goddamn semi-line, building these cars for these rich ass people. He was working for his company called Packard. And that Packard, there was, you know, cars that just came out. But you have to be balling to get a car because they was handmade. They was like the Bentleys and shit. You know, they was hand making them shits one by one, and you had to have bread to get in the car, man. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you on a horse or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he was building these cars, man. He was like, man, you know what? I'm tired of building these cars, man. Why I can't drive one? Everybody should be able to drive a car. You know what I'm saying? Man, forget this. I'm gonna go start my own shit, and everybody gonna get a car. Everybody gonna get a car. Everybody gonna get a car. He knew what he was gonna do. He ain't had no crazy education. He ain't had none of that. He knew what he was gonna do. Napoleon Hill interviewed him, and he told him this shit. He knew what he was gonna do. Matter of fact, when he was interviewing him, the nigga, he was in his lab in his garage putting some shit together. He ain't even a pop yet. Napoleon Hill was like, this nigga won't even look out from the work. He like, yeah, man, I'll talk to you later. He was grinding like, yo, he had, you know what I'm saying? Everybody thought he was crazy. Like, this nigga crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? So Napoleon Hill talked to him. He saw that determination he was having. You know what I'm saying? He witnessed some pop, so he knew this shit was real. Then he hollered at J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan like, shit. You call me Illuminati if you want, nigga. I'm running all this money. I don't care what y'all niggas talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm controlling the money. I'm controlling the money. That's what I'm going to do, man, because money is power. I don't care who running the government and all that type of shit. Let me control the money because they're going to need that bread to make all this shit move. You know what I'm saying? Yo, yeah, my man, Thomas Edison. That was the most interesting one he talked to, man, because Thomas Edison, when he talked to Thomas Edison at the time, Thomas Edison has failed at getting that light bulb shit to work 10,000 times. That nigga failed 10,000 times. Yo, most people, man, you mess up one or two project, niggas, it's a wrap. Like how you say your girl, look, man, you give up this writing shit, man. Your book ain't sold, man. You gotta get that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, imagine 10,000 books not selling, man. 10,000 times. But he was like, look, I know I'm focused. But they was doing this technique called auto suggestion. And what they was doing was they was using three things. They was using, number one, enthusiasm. That feeling, that enthusiasm. Remember, we was talking last week and I was breaking down the 11 parts of the spirit. We got to the seventh, which was Hera Ru. Hera Ru is your imagination. When I said she represented that female, that bad chick. You know what I'm saying? I said, yo, that bad chick. Just imagine that bad chick. Imagine that man. Imagine her naked, butt ass naked. And then you get excited about that shit. It even affect you to the point where you might get an erection. That's a powerful emotion. That's called enthusiasm. You understand? Or you can generate that feeling about any goddamn thing. Anything. That same energy, that shit will do something. You understand? So that's number one. That's how he felt about them cars. That shit had his dick hard. I'm gonna get these cars. Ooh, everybody gonna get a car. You understand what I'm saying? When you get that type of enthusiasm about something, that shit is powerful. That's number one. So they had that enthusiasm. Then they had the visualization, which was that Hera Ru, which is your imagination. The visualization. And then they had the affirmations. That what they would tell themselves every day. Like shit. Like when we was talking about my man, give you a perfect example. T.I., the rapper. When T.I. first came out in 2000, 2001, nigga came out nowhere. Said, I'm the king of the South. I'm the king of the South. Niggas like, what? Who's this slow nigga? I'm the king of the South. Nigga, you ain't the king of the South. Fuck that. I'm the king of the South. Nigga, you're not the king of the South. I'm the king of the South. That was an affirmation. He believed that shit, his dick got hard, and he the king of the South. You understand what I'm saying? It was the enthusiasm, it was auto-suggestion. It was taking that, you know what you want, you're enthusiastic about it, you see it, and you're saying it to yourself every day. That's all these dudes was doing. Napoleon Hill interviewed them. And they was using these techniques and they was modifying their behavior, because successful people, they move and they think in a certain pattern. They got certain patterns. You can tell. I'm on Eric Thomas. He got this thing, man. He said, I'm gonna upload this too. He said that if you show me your schedule for the next 24 hours, what you do for the next 24 hours, I know whether you're successful or not by what you do, by your patterns and shit that you do in the 24-hour period. Because it's the way you live determines how you win, how successful you are. It's patterns and shit, the shit that you do every day. That will make you successful.
Yeah, that's so dope. All right. And I got to interject because I was just getting into that very same thing earlier, and I want to share some of the stuff so it can tie right into what you're talking about, right? I just did this thing earlier where I posted this whole thing about your time and how you spend your time for over the course of a 79-year lifespan, right? Now just listen to some of these shit right here, man. Right? 1, you spend 25 years sleeping. 25 years of your life you spend sleeping. Right? 25. Now that's only 1. I'm gonna go through some more. 2, you work 10.3 years of your life. The average American works 40 hours a week from age 20 to 65. That amounts to 10.3 years that you spend working. You spend 48 days having sex. A recent survey found that during the average sex session, foreplay lasts 7 minutes and intercourse 12 minutes. Women spend 17 years of their lives trying to lose weight. This means being on one form of diet or another. You watch TV for 9.1 years. TV. You watch it for 9.1 years. Watching TV accounts for half of all leisure time and about 2.8 hours per day. You spend 2 years watching commercials. A 3-hour NFL broadcast only has 11 minutes of actual gameplay. A 3-hour NFL broadcast only has 11 minutes of actual gameplay. You spend 1.1 years cleaning. Women have historically spent twice as much time as men, though that statistic they say is shifting. You spend 2.5 years cooking. You spend 3.66 years eating, about 67 minutes a day, right? The total amount of food you consume in a lifetime is close to 35 tons. 35 tons. You drive a car 4.3 years. In that time, you'll cover enough distance to go to the moon and back 3 times. You spend 3 months of your life in traffic in about 38 hours a year. You spend 1.5 years in the bathroom. The average person goes 6 times a day. You spend a total of 92 days on the toilet. Men spend 4 more minutes on the toilet than women daily. Check this out. You spend 70% of your waking life in front of digital media. 70% of your waking life in front of digital media. You laugh about 290,000 times in your life. That's about 10 times per day. You walk a total of 110,000 miles. That's the equivalent of 4 times around the world. You spend 90% of your time indoors. That's 71 of your 78.6 years. So imagine that. You're not getting no sun. That's why niggas so depressed, because they're spending 90% of their time indoors. You consume 1 teaspoon of alcohol per day. That's 1,442 gallons in a lifetime. You have between 4 and 6 dreams a night for a total of 2,000 a year. But we forget 80% of them. You fart, check this out. You fart 402,000 times in your lifetime. That's about 14 times a day, yo. You spend 14 days of your life kissing. Most people wish it were more, of course, you know, like me. I wish I, you know, I got to kiss, you know, a lot more. My woman is not really a big kisser. You drink 12,000 cups of coffee. That's about, you know, 1.6 cup per day. I don't drink coffee at all. If you're more into tea, which I am, they say you drink about 48 pounds in your lifetime. That's about 75 pounds a year. Women spend I mean 0.75 pounds a year. Women spend nearly 1 year deciding what to wear. The average man will spend 1 year staring at women. Staring. That's just looking at some pussy. You know what I mean? Fantasizing. Average man will spend 1 year staring at women. Women spend 8 years of their life shopping. 8 years of their life shopping. That's over 1 hour every single day. Women spend 1.5 years doing their hair. That's about 14,000 hours brushing, washing, blow drying, straightening, curling, and cutting. An office worker spends 5 years sitting at a desk. That's on your ass, nigga. You sitting down for 5 years. The average employee spends 2 years sitting in work meetings. The average person swears, that's cuss, right? 2 million times. That's 80 to 90 times a day. And it goes on, you know, it jumps over and it goes on into other things. I mean, it's crazy, man. Like, and this is what we're doing. This is our reality. You know what I mean? This is the reality that we're actually living, man. So I just wanted to drop that in and give some context to what you were sharing with the thing you're talking about with Eric Thomas. So
Okay. Yeah, man. That's crazy, man. That's crazy right there. How you broke that down. When you put your life in that perspective with just time, you measure things by time. Yeah, we waste a whole lot of time on frivolous things, man. But that's what Eric Thomas was saying. You know what I'm saying? Based upon that, now I guarantee you, these people, the successful ones, they spend less time watching TV. You know what I'm saying? They spend less time doing a whole lot of the bullshit, man. You know, more time. Like how much times a day, or how much times do we put into financial education? You know what I'm saying? How much time you put into learning about how money works? How much time you put into the science? You understand? It's like we don't put time into the things that actually make us who our ancestors were. We ain't nowhere near who our ancestors were. We only talk about it, we reading about it. Because we don't put no time being, we don't put action, we don't do shit like he was talking about the other day, man. We're not doing the things that they was doing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so in Napoleon Hill's book, he interviewed all these people and he said, yo, so that was auto suggestion. And then the other part of that was suggestion. Suggestion was, since you're not controlling yourself, since you're not telling your spirit or your unconscious self, which controls everything around you, which everything around you is controlled by this unconscious spirit. You know what I'm saying? Control everything, whether you're successful, whether you're a failure. If you're not telling it what you want, even though it's like that genie in the bottle, you're not telling them what you're trying to do. You're not suggesting to it what it should do for you. Then you don't have control. Someone else has that control. Now what they're doing is suggesting to you what you should be, what kind of clothes to drive. You know what I'm saying? How to act, how to talk. This, you should do this, you should do that. Other people are controlling. You're being controlled and shit. So it was two sides of the coins. The people he was interviewing that was doing things, they decided to take over their own minds. They took their own shit in their own hands and took their own destiny in their own hands and start creating things. The masses, they weren't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So that was what he came with in that book. And so when he dropped this book, teaching people these principles on how to modify their behavior, how to think a certain way, how to make things happen, people start getting, making things happen. There was another version. It was a similar book, just like Think and Go Rich, and it's called, this book right here. This is called the Master Key System. Man, this book was written by this dude Charles F. Hannell. He came out even before Napoleon Hill. He was the first one. It's breaking down how the mind works, how to change your thinking. Now the story was what made this book so popular. They said that the legend says that my man Bill Gates, came across this book when he was in college. Went through it, dropped out of school. Like, y'all don't need this shit no more. I'm a college. I already know what I want to do. They can't teach me shit here. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Went out, became the richest man in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. So it's all about this know thyself, man. They had it on all the temple walls. They had it letting people know, man, you got two parts. You got the conscious, you got the unconscious mind. The spirit works. You got to know how the spirit works. You got an animal spirit, and you got a divine spirit. You got the human and animal spirit, which when we was reading in the I Ching was saying that the animal spirit, which is it moves. It's emotion. Emotion means energy and motion. You know what I'm saying? It don't have no logic to it. It's not intelligence. It's just energy and motion. Raw energy just moving shit. And it has to be guided by some type of intelligence. That's why it's a God, because you seeing everything around you, all this energy, but it ain't so much. The energy is impressive. That shit, man, is the fire and the heat. All that shit is impressive. But what's even more impressive is the intelligence that's controlling that shit. They got it working in the way it's working. Like that's more. That's just as impressive or even more than the energy. You know what I'm saying? So that's how God thinks. God controls all this energies and forces around him with intelligence. And according to what the I Ching was saying, people they hadn't got control of that yet. You know what I'm saying? So you still walk around trying to learn how to control that emotions and think like God. You know what I'm saying? So, but that book, Think and Grow Rich, man, it was a blueprint and showed people how to think. So a lot of the successful people that you're seeing now, they get a lot of their techniques and their patterns of behavior from books like that. You know what I'm saying? And from some teachings, man. So that's what that was about, man. But yeah, if you want to check that out, if anybody want to check that out, this right here, man. This is a good book, man. I would go to YouTube, put it in the search engine in YouTube, and you're gonna get an audio version of that. You know what I'm saying? I just rock that audio version. Also, you can go on YouTube and get that Think and Grow Rich. You got Think and Grow Rich, and you got another one called I think the 16 Laws of Success. You know what I'm saying? Check that out. And this is a book right here. It's two books. I also suggest, man, this is that classic I was telling y'all about. The Meta Volume 1. This is a classic book written by Ra and Nephi. And this book right here breaks down in details the ancient Egyptian or Kemetic religion. They take that myth out of saying that they didn't believe in God and they was worshiping all these gods. Nah, we took God and we broke it down into the to what it was, man, and how to actually think like God and how things work, man, and modify the behavior, man. So this was the religion, man. The religion was all about modifying that behavior, man. He got another one called 11 Laws of God. It's that tree of life. That's that breakdown. From everything starting from zero all the way down, breaking it down. It's a way of thinking, how everything works based on that, man. This is also one of his books, man. I definitely suggest, people get their hands on that. Just go to, YouTube or Google, put down the search engine to get them to come up. This book is called My Eye, 11 Laws of God. You know what I'm saying? And Napoleon Hill had this, you know, he broke it down in the 17 laws that was condensed from the original 11 laws. True, like you seen it, it looked like it's the same thing. This is what the Kabbalah is. This is what Kabbalahism is. You hear your modifications, you know what I'm saying, how to put yourself in harmony and change your thinking when, you know, because every situation different, man. You gotta understand, the world around you is controlled by forces that you don't see. For instance, what I mean by that, you might go into a room and there's people in that room. Before you got into that room, before you wasn't even in that situation in that room, some shit might have had went down. You're not even aware of. You understand what I'm saying? So when you go into the room, you're seeing people smiling or whatever, but you don't know what just occurred. So they're smiling, but inside their heads, and it's a different situation than what you think it is. You're thinking shit is cool, but in their head, man, it's some other things, there's some other forces is moving. You're not in tune with that. You don't know what's going on because, you know what I'm saying? So you have to modify your behavior to adapt. Now, when you know what I'm saying, like, okay, it's a situation where you might have to be, you know, diplomatic, but you know, you might come across being too aggressive and then shit flip on you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know how to modify and change your behavior into certain situations, man. That was religion was about, man. You know what I'm saying? But yo, T, what that is you got in your hand, man? That's that
This right here is the Nile Valley contributions to world civilization by Anthony Browder. You know, I mean, this is a book right here. I think anybody who's just, you know, getting into the information, this is a book you should definitely get to. So, you know, check this out. This is Anthony Browder's Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization, and it goes pretty in depth. Some of the things I like in this book, you know, just the breakdown and the details that he goes through into explaining some of the comparisons between our present day civilization and ancient Egypt, and showing all the parallels that a lot of people kind of overlook. He talks about it's broken down into several parts. I think it's three parts. The first part is the Nile Valley civilization. So it basically goes into, you know, the Nile Valley, the people in the historical accomplishments they had there, then the stolen legacy. Europeans came into Kemet and some of the devastating things they did, the rape of Egypt, the different things they took out of there. I mean, even when you go to some of the museums today, what you're seeing is not everything. You know, there's lots of rich benefactors that have, you know, lots of stuff that would you know, blow, you know, the socks of a people if they were privy to it. You know, information that really, you know, they're using some of the stuff they took out of Egypt to fuel their technologies. You know what I'm saying? So it goes into that, goes into the presence, in the Nile Valley presence around the world, even in America. And the last part deals with the African Renaissance, you know, and just different things that we as African people should be, you know, aware of. One of the things I like is this little, I don't know if it's an African proverb. I believe it says a modern adaptation of an African proverb. And you know, in consciousness, or in the conscious community, which has become so convoluted and misconstrued, that some people believe that the conscious community is a handful of people who say they're conscious, or just people who, you know, may share certain similar interpolations or understanding of history or who we are as Black people. You know, we throw everybody under the term conscious. I like to look at consciousness not just as the awakening, because a lot of times, you know, hear people talk about the awakening, about you coming into, you know, you waking up. Everybody's wake up. But I think the awareness is what counts. You know, because there are a lot of people whose eyes are opening up, but they're opening up to go from Christianity to you know, some other form of religion. You know what I'm saying? And so they're giving up on one God for another one. You know what I mean? One system that tells them that, you know, the power is not theirs, the power exists outside of them, for another one who tells them the same thing. I see people all the time that want to proclaim themselves as prophets or as divine and all these different things. And sometimes I'm like, man, this is ridiculous, you know? Because you should be trying to get the people to become aware that the power is in the mind. All is mind, the universe is mental. So it's an awareness. And so they have this poem in here called Know Thyself. And it's funny because we've been going into this very topic as of late a lot, you know, what it means to know thyself. So it's breakdowns like this: a person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish, disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, teach them. A person who knows not and believes that they know is dangerous, avoid them. A person who knows and knows that they know is asleep, awaken them. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise, follow them. All of these persons reside in you. Know thyself, and to ma'at be true. So, you know, we all come across all these different kinds of people. As a matter of fact, we have been each one of these different persons at different times in our life, and we probably still are when it comes to certain subjects and certain things that we have no knowledge or no understanding of. And sometimes, just to try to save face, we pretend like we do. We have conversations with people about things that we're not qualified to have, or, you know, we really don't understand what the hell they're talking about or what they're dealing with. And same and vice versa. You know, you talk to people sometimes, and, you know, they're nodding their heads with you, and, you know, you're saying, you understand what I'm saying? And they say, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but they don't have a clue, you know what I'm saying? So all these persons reside in you. Know yourself, and to ma'at. Ma'at represents truth, balance, reciprocity, order. You know what I mean? Harmony. You know what I mean? Righteousness. You know, it's balance, and that's what nature is about. You know, nature is about that balance. So no matter how fucked up shit is right now, the balance is already, like, things are already working to get balanced out. You know, because our concept of time, we look at 90 years and say, wow, that's, you lived a long life. You know what I mean? Nature is the balance that's going to take to put the thing that's going to take to put everything back in balance. It may take another 200 years. And what's going to happen in that 200-year time span is that nature is going to put so much fear into us by seeing so many people dropping dead from the cancer caused by the foods they're eating, by the things they're drinking, by the lifestyles that they're indulging in. And then what happens is that, you know, it triggers responses in the population, because now you have doctors and scientists coming out and publishing reports and understandings about what's causing some of the things that we're seeing happening, and that in effect, you know, ripples through the whole population, you know, in changing their behavior. And sometimes it's a control thing, because if you turn on your television tomorrow and they tell you that, look, cereal is something that's giving people cancer, people will stop eating cereal. You remember when Oprah did a special on the beef, the mad cow disease, and all the cow farmers lost their mind because they said, you know, she's fucking up their money, and you know, people are not gonna buy hamburgers anymore and anything. So these things are happening right now. That's why for years we used to sit back and watch all these television ads with the tobacco, you know, them showing people smoking in the movies, and the television ad, and, you know, smoking. Now you're seeing people making commercials about why you shouldn't be smoking. You see what I'm saying? The matter of fact that the cigarette companies are funding it because of the government stipulations that nature is doing this. It's balancing out things again. So now we see a lot of people dying from cancer and having all kind of ailments. So what's happening now? A lot of people are running to trying to get back healthy and get back organic. So it's a process. You see what I'm saying? Monsanto is basically up, and a lot of companies like it are up, and they're doing what they're doing, but they've done so much right now that so many people are aware of them that it's the tide is turning on them slowly. Eventually, companies like that will be banned. You know, politicians who support companies like that will not get voted in. You see, all these things are going to come back, and because the balancing is taking place. So it may take 200 years. You may not live that long, but you will give birth to children who will have this mindset that nature needs them to have, or is going to put in them to have, so that the things that are wrong with the world will level out and fix, you know, become normalized, so that we can function, so that animals can live again. You know, we're killing. I went to one place in South Carolina. I think it was a Purdue chicken factory. And when I got there, man, this place was like, it's so huge. The complex was so huge. I was meeting somebody who had a bike they wanted to sell, or trade for a truck I was trying to get. And the guy came out and I asked him. He says he's an engineer in the facility, and he was just giving me the scope of what they did there. And this place was like, probably, like I said, 4 or 5 football fields long. And he says they start at one end, and by the time they get to the other end, every day they're pushing out 350,000 chickens from one end to the next. And that's only one factory of probably hundreds, if not thousands, all around, across this country and across the world. So we see that we are on a mass scale. We are committing genocide on the animal level, you know, because like we believe, in a sense, in this country and many places around the world, that we are more important than our food. We are, you know, if we can eat it, it has no value, you know. It has no value. And so as a result, so many, they say every year 1,000 species goes extinct every year. Every year. Animals that were here thousands and thousands of years are gone. They're no longer here. You know, when Europeans went into Africa, right? They weren't there for a long stretch in the Congo, but after they had left, after a couple of years that they had left, they had killed over 2 million buffaloes. You know, you ever seen the picture of the buffalo bones stacked up like a pyramid? You ever seen that? It's crazy, man. They wiped out all those animals. You look at what the Native Americans went through here, and they're not buffaloes or chickens, but within, like, you know, I believe I read where they said within like a 6-year time frame or some time span like that, they killed over 90 million people. 90 million people wiped out. You see? So the balance has to come back. There has to be a balance, because, you know, it's not the norm. This is not the norm. What we're living, the societies that we're living in right now, is not the norm. Even with all the cities that are lit up at night, and the skyscraper and the skylines that they make, right? It's not the norm. You know, you have people now every single day packing themselves into these structures. They're not getting any sun. They're not getting any exercise. Like the thing said, you spend 5 years of your life just sitting in a chair. 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Over 70-something% of your life, or no, 90% of your life, you're inside. You're not getting no sun. And look how important the sun is. Imagine all that the sun means to our world. Without the sun, our world doesn't function. It's not a place where anything can be sustained. You need the vitamin A, the vitamin D. All the vitamins and minerals are coming from the sun. You're getting electromagnetic waves. You're getting radio waves. You're getting microwaves. You're getting gamma rays. You're getting all these things, neutrinos, right? But if 90% of your time is spent inside, you're not getting that. You're not getting that. So, you know, it's a lot of stuff that this world, you know, we believe that it's modern, and we equate modern with being better. But the amount of radiation, the amount of pollution, the amount of waste, the amount of like stress, the amount of depression, the amount of confusion, the amount of things to choose from, it's so much. You know, choice is a good thing, but when you have too much choices, you become overwhelmed, and it paralyzes your will. You don't know what to do. People are no longer having meaningful experiences with each other, you know. We spend so much time on our devices, on our cell phones and our computers, and it's just wasting time. We're entertaining the mind. My kids, your kids, most of the kids nowadays, they don't go outside and play anymore. They're on video games. That's what they're doing. So a part of your human experience is being diminished. For all that you say that you have, a big part of your experience is being diminished of who you are. We don't walk around barefoot. We don't know what the fucking ground feels like. You know, the earth is there to absorb, you know, it's funny. Yeah, you know this in electricity, right? We always have a wire called a grounding wire, right? Because they get that from the fact that the ground, right? It absorbs all the negative shit. But you don't walk around barefoot anymore. So you can't ground. You can't get all this negative energy out of your neck. Then cancer builds up in your cells and in your system. You know what I mean? You have aches and pains all the time. So it's a lot of stuff. This society is not conducive with nature. You know, streets are covered where forests were, where grass were, where, you know what I mean, where houses take, you know, they're cutting down the Amazon in South America to build more houses, right? But homelessness still persists. For all the housing that they're building all the time, they keep on talking about the housing market, because everything becomes driven by money and by profit. And because of that, they'll cut down all the trees if they have to. And I was telling somebody, you know, the way I kind of summed it up was saying, sometimes the things that we want, they're not compatible with the things that we need. And because we're in such a want society where we want so much more than we need, right? And everything is become a commodity where we're trying to make a profit and we're trying to make a dollar. Our wants become in conflict with our needs. We need the air, but because, you know, we want factories, we're polluting the air. Right? Factories want to make money, so they're polluting the air. You need the water, but you know what I mean, you're poisoning it. You know, you need the earth. But you're stressing it out, you're exhausting it of all of its resources. You need your food, but now you're going in there, you're genetically modifying something. So you know, and there was nothing wrong with the food. What the fuck was wrong with what nature was doing? Because you know, it's cold here and it's hot some other places, and you don't want to you don't want to have to wait to go somewhere. You don't want the people in the warmer climate to make any money. So now you're going and you're genetically modifying the food. So food that's supposed to grow in warm climate or tropical climates, you're growing them in this harsh, cold place, just so you can keep on making money. And it's fucking up people. You know, because when you modify the food, the genes in the food, you're modifying, when you eat that food, you're modifying your genes too. And all of us have been, you know, impacted by this. And this stuff is not by chance. They're not doing this thing because, like, you know, it's a mistake. It's a plan. It's a part of a plan. It's a part of their program to control the population. And if you just study and keep on top of things, you'll understand it. I remember when I went to Europe in 2001, and then again in 2000, I believe 2002, right? I went to Germany, and they were telling me back then that in Europe they're at a population dearth. That means that more old white folks were dying than new white folks were born. Their population was not growing. They was at a zero population growth. In 2012, 10 years since that time, and you know, this has been going on a lot longer, but they, you know, in 2012 they just came out and admitted that the white population in America is not growing. It's declining. It's actually declining. But power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So they don't want to give up what they believe. You know, they have done so much for, and they've done a lot to get this shit they have, man. They've killed a lot of people. They robbed a lot of niggas. You know what I mean? They fucked over a lot of people to get this shit. You know what I mean? So they've invested like a lot of blood to get the stuff that they have, and they're not going to give it up. So if that means abortions, you look at abortions, especially with black people, we make up, the black woman in America makes up 7% of the population. 7%, probably even less than that, right? But she is the number one person performing abortions, even up to 3 to 4 times more than white women. You see what I'm saying? Over 13 million black babies have been aborted since the 70s or the late 60s up to present. That's 13 million. I don't care how many people get raped. I don't care how many incests you can come with. It's not 13 million, my nigga. You understand what I'm saying? So this is not a game. This is not, you're not true. You're saying, oh, we're choosing to do this, and then we come up with excuses where we say, oh, it's a socio-economic, listen, this is by design, and it has nothing to do with the fact that you don't have enough money to take care of this or enough money to take care of that, because life happens and life always finds a way. And yes, it might be tough and it might be rough and it's not gonna be easy, but it's never been easy. Don't get duped into this modern illusion to believe that things are easy. It's not necessarily easy. It's never been easy. You know what I mean? It's always been a struggle. People always had to find a way. And that's the genius of the human being. Whenever we need to do something, we find a way. And that's what nature is doing. It's finding a way, because we're in an age right now where a lot of stuff that they used to hide from us, they're revealing it. It's not even so much that you gotta go look for it. They're revealing it. The men and women who used to sit behind the computers and gather the data and compile it and hold the secret to them, those people now are coming out and they're revealing it. Why? Why? Nature is balancing out this whole thing. It's balancing out the whole thing, because even though we talk sometimes harsh about our experience with white folks, they are part of nature too. They're not, they may think they're separate from it, but they're part of nature too. They're part of nature too. The red blood cell and the white blood cell are part of the same system. You know what I mean? The cancer cells are part of the same system. A cancer cell is I think somebody said it the other day, it's just a cell that went rogue. You know what I mean? I think that was brother Lex Vortex. He said a cancer cell is a cell that's going rogue. You know what I'm saying? So and that's how you sometimes, I don't always want to racialize everything, but when even Europeans, Caucasians look at themselves, they gotta admit that, you know what I mean, the stuff that went down to put them in power and to have them where they are, it's kind of like they're like a cancer, man. Look how much fucking things have been wiped out, have been killed. Look how many animals, look how many people. You know what I mean? From the Africans we talk about the Jewish Holocaust all the time, but look at what they did in Cecil Rhodes did, for 50 million Africans. Look at what King Leopold did. You know what I mean? How many hands he chopped off, how many people he killed. Black people have been through hell. Look at the Native Americans. Look at the Aboriginal people in Australia. Before Europeans got there, there was over 5 million or 10 million of them there. Now there's only about 500, 600,000 people there, and they're treated like shit. So this is real. This is real. You still there, Tariq?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Yeah. That's real talk, B. But yeah, bro. So I guess, man, probably gonna have to call that a little wrap, whatever, man. What's up for tomorrow, man? So we definitely gonna do the same thing. We do we do every Wednesday, right?
Yeah. So tomorrow, everybody, we'll be doing another our weekly broadcast. So make sure y'all tune into that for Grind Time Radio. That's TARIQ Bey, myself, and DJ Drizzlali. So make sure y'all tune in for that. That will give them the information. Was there a number they call in? Is there where they go to?
No, you just go to Ryan Time Radio, Blog Talk, and just subscribe, and you get you get a notice. But we usually do it 6 o'clock on Wednesdays, so we put it up on Facebook, or they can go to they can go to the Facebook page, Destiny Grind on Facebook. We put it up on there too.
All right, so there you have it, everybody. We want to thank you all again for tuning in. This is M9NDtv. I'm your host, the Hut 9. I want to thank my my boy, my co-host in Grind Time Radio, and the brilliant mind that he is, brother TARIQ Bey, for joining us today and just sharing some knowledge with us, man. As usual, it's always a pleasure, TARIQ. This is where we provoke thoughts and inspire thinking. So, if you would like to get on the platform and do a presentation or be interviewed, you can hit us up at 909-906-6963. That's 909-906-6963. And make sure you go to youtube.com/M9NDtv network. That's Mind spelled M, the number 9, NDTV network, NETWORK. And that's the name, that's the URL for our M9NDtv channel. So youtube.com/M9NDtv network. And remember, mind is spelled with a number 9 instead of the letter I. And again, I want to thank you, TARIQ. Any last words before we could get out of here?
Nah, man. I was just, like I said, man, earlier. I would definitely suggest people go to YouTube and check out that Think and Grow Rich, and just listen to something. Might change your perspectives on some things, man. Get your mind right a little bit.
All right. Well, there you have it, TARIQ. Thank you, everybody. Keep your mind switched on, and thank you for tuning in. Peace out.